The number one thing that I would say is have a schedule, have a plan, have a plan in anything you are doing. Have a plan. When you are tired, don't quit. Rest.
You have said a lot of things, but one thing that struck me right now is the fact that work mode should be work mode. My HOD then used to say, once you pass the gate of the hospital, leave your house problem.
Yes.
Yes, the work. Once you
Yes.
close, you pass the gate of the hospital, leave the hospital problem. Go and face the one
Yes.
at home. All right, so this is a podcast where we share real stories from people behind healthcare. Today's episode, to my listeners, is going to be for young nurses, is going to be for every student, everybody who is trying to find their place in the healthcare, anybody who is interested to be a nurse. This episode is for you. I am joined by a registered nurse, a nurse educator, a clinical instructor, and also a wellness coach. This is someone who has built a career in healthcare and built beyond the traditional part of healthcare and is actively shaping the lives of the future healthcare professionals. In this conversation, we are going to be exploring career growth, confidence, burnout, and how to create a meaningful pathway in healthcare. Welcome to the show, Mr. Dortun.
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you very much for this opportunity to affect lives. Thank you.
All right, so let's start talking about you. What inspired you into nursing?
All right, okay. So the medical field has always been a thing that I've always loved as a kid. When they ask every kid what do you want to become, I want to become a medical doctor and the likes like that. And it's something that I've been working on. And at a time when I had an educational program in school, I had an educational program before I had my nursing degree.
Okay.
I found out that I like affecting lives. That's one thing. I was able to pick up purpose in affecting lives. And I knew that I still had a thing for medicine. Even though I love to educate people, I knew that I still had a thing for having to, people have conditions. Even though I don't know about it, I read about it. So I knew that it was still my thing. And then so after my educational program, then I went into nursing because I hate to see people see and don't understand what to do. That's one very common thing about an average Nigerian. They don't know what to do when they are sick. They keep guessing, looking into might and all of those things. And those are the things that drew me into becoming a nurse.
So it will be fair to say curiosity drove you into nursing because you wanted to actually you are curious to find out information. Then instead of just finding out information, you started wanting to know how you can also help people. Then you decided to go into nursing after your first or your education program. Yeah.
Yes. That's the idea. That is it.
That's good. I really like people who are very curious because when you're curious, you're gonna get lots of information. You're gonna get many information. All right. So let's continue. And when you started, did you imagine your career would evolve from education? From education to wellness? Because most people when they become nurses or healthcare professionals, they tend to want to say, okay, let me just stay by the bedside or in the clinical area, but do you imagine that you would evolve despite, yes, you have your first degree or your first program was in education. Do you anticipate that evolvement or movement very fast?
All right, yes. So while I was in school, back then, I usually lecture my colleagues. During exams, we have tutorials where there's a way I explain things to them and they get to understand better. So even right from then, some of my lecturers were already tipping that, oh, you are good at this. There was a time I was taking one of those tutorial class and one of my lecturers passed and it was amazed. I'm like, oh, you are doing well. So I've had all of those things. So I knew that one way or the other, I'm going to be educating people. There's something about that I've seen in medicine, that I've seen in the healthcare system is the fact that there is a bridge in when it comes to the educated part of healthcare. People tend to go to the hospital. Nobody tends to explain what's actually wrong with them, especially in Nigeria. You just tell them you have this, you're going to do this. So I knew that one way or the other, I was going to be using my educational background with medicine to simplify people's condition. I knew that I was going to do something like that. I knew because I knew that I was good at having to explain medicine to people and they are able to understand. Yes. So I
Wow.
appreciate that.
Wow, that's nice. And I think I will be thinking that your educational background made it very easier for you, to be a nurse educator, right?
Yes, definitely. Because I was already a professional educator. I knew how to do all of those things. So it's just having to transcend or having to put a knowledge that I have into something else, and it goes all the way.
Yeah, so one thing about nurses, young nurses, is the fact that at some point there is confusion about what do I want to do. You don't know, should I do this? Should I become a mental health nurse? Should I go into education? Should I go into, clinical areas, other specialty areas? Was there at any point in your career as a young nurse, do you feel that uncertainty about the career path to choose, or you are just like, hey, this is where I want to go? Nothing, nobody is stopping me.
All right, okay, yes. There's a point in time where I sat down and I just felt like, what am I even doing here like this? When you see videos online of people's career pathway and you see how much people are making in some of these specialty and the likes like that. And
Yeah.
sometimes it just makes me want to, I think I need to go like this. Oh God, I'm not doing this. I want to do this. I want to do that. Yes, so there are points in my life where I actually had that uncertainty, and I feel like uh, probably I don't know what I'm doing. Yes.
So at that point, now let me give you an example before I ask the next question. When I went to School of Nursing, right, the
Yes.
first day I stepped into School of Nursing, and I saw the cars of my lecturers, I was like, God, is this what I want? Is this what I want to do? Like when I finish this kind of car I'm going to be driving as a young man, and these are elderly people, and they've worked many years in
Yes.
the profession, and this is the kind of car they could afford, and I felt they were poor. Let me use the
Yeah.
word poor.
Yes.
But when I joined the program properly, then we had like career talk and all of things. I now knew that there was a path where there's the way I could navigate. So now in those your uncertainties, how did you navigate that phase of your uncertainties?
All right. Just like you said, you're able to discuss with senior colleagues. That's one thing that I also did. I looked at people who have gone ahead in the profession, how they navigated it. For example, my HOD in school then currently is in the UK now, or probably has left UK for a better country. Yes. So and then I looked at his pathway and I found out that he's doing pretty well for himself, like very well, even before he left the country. He's doing pretty well. So I used that, he helped me to see that if I continue this way, if I continue this way, I follow this step, then definitely I'm going to reach my goal and even surpass whatever things that I've planned out for myself. And that's what helped my uncertainty. In fact, there was a time that he called me and he was telling me some things about, the profession and the likes like that. And I told him that if you can be here, I'll get past it, And it was like, wow. So that was one of those things that helped my uncertainty.
Wow, I like your story, because unfortunately we don't really see nurse mentors. We don't see mentors, especially in nursing. We don't see people who mentor others. We see people who see you as a challenge. For you to have a mentor
Yes.
who actually didn't see you as a competition, it's a very good thing. And I think I want to commend him wherever he is right
Yes.
now. I hope he's going to be watching this. All right.
Yes.
Now let's talk about you as a clinical instructor. You're a young man. I always look back at my days. We didn't have young people, like young women, young men, as tutors. Most of my, I think it was only one or two persons that I saw as tutors who were not up to 35. Most of them they are getting to their retirement age. So most people were not into nurse tutoring. So what are the most challenge? What is the most common challenge you see among student nurses today? As a nurse tutor.
Yeah, so one of those things is that they quit easily. That's one thing. Yes. So it's not like those days where you don't see this as them once some of them in their first week of school, they are changing their mind. They just want to go for something that is less challenging. So that's the one thing. They really don't have that what do I call it now? That mindset.
Resilience and
Or yes, so yeah, that resilience to say, I will see this through. This is going to work. Yes, so that's one thing. Another thing is that some of them come into the program with might already in their mind. They already have some might. They have some mindset already. So it's definitely a problem. It's definitely a problem. Yeah. So those are some of the challenges that I've seen in student nurses. Yes.
I frankly, I don't blame anybody. If somebody is running away from nursing, I don't blame them because it's very challenging, especially if you're going through the school of nursing pathway. It's very,
Yeah.
but
Yes.
there's no
It's
pathway that is
challenging.
easier, but it's the health care field is very challenging. But with professionals like yourself, encouraging them, I think people will see the light and know how to navigate. All right. So
Yes.
based on your experience, what is one mistake you see many young nurses make early in their career?
All right. Okay. So number one, I'm going to talk about having to choose specialties without looking at the pros and the cons. That's one thing. Some of
Yeah.
them tend to specialize. They just get into the specialty, and then they end up. A lot of them end up regretting or saying, "If I'd known, I would not have done this." They just do it because one, they don't have mentors. They don't have people to tell them, "Okay, when you do this, look at their strength, look at their weaknesses, tell them about the thing." So it's one mistake that they make. And another one that I also talk about is that the profession has a lot of females, and because of that, a lot of them don't also have people to look up to, and they tend to get married after school a lot of times, and sometimes it does not work for them, or they now find out that there is more in nursing than just having to get married. I'm not saying getting married early is not good, but I'm saying that they don't think that there's anything purposeful to do. They really don't see anything. I already have my RN. What's the next thing to do? I'm
Yeah.
working already. Yeah. So a lot of times they end up having to realize, and sometimes it's like somebody is having to hold them down. So those are like the two common or three common mistakes that I've seen happen when it comes to student nurses.
All right. So this statement now made me get me something in my head. I just wanted to find out, because we are Africans. Do you think this boils down to religion or tradition? Because let's talk about the female nurses. I have two questions. Let's talk about the female nurses. Is it because most of them, is it based on the fact that the tradition is expecting them that, okay, you are working, you finish school, there's a pattern for them, there's a step that they're expected to take. When you finish primary school, secondary school, you go into higher institution, once you finish, get married. Is it based on the tradition, or is it because they lack mentor? Because we talked about mentorship in nursing.
Yes.
I think that's one of the things we are lacking actually. So is it a thing of tradition or religion, if I will use that word, or is it a thing of lack of mentorship to guide young people in a way that they should go, so that whether they are choosing a career, like you said, a specialty, whether they're choosing a specialty, or whether they are choosing a spouse after school immediately, is it a thing of mentorship, or just a thing of tradition, or following the footsteps of others? What do you think?
So I would say it's a problem of exposure and lack of mentorship. So just like you said that a lot of times you see those who we look up to in School of Nursing and some universities, they tend to be harsh. They tend to see you as somebody who comes to
Competitor.
compete or somebody who wants to take their place. So a lot
Hmm.
of times it's hard for them to, they don't even give you advice,
Yeah.
except from fear. And that's why I'm happy for the kind of HOD I had during my time. They don't give you advice. So a lot of times these people are not exposed. Don't forget that School of Nursing it's always book, book, and book, and they do nurses week. Except from that, they don't do anything. They most times have a triangle life. There's no time where they talk about careers, bring in people who are exposed. you know, Somebody who is exposed and who loves this thing is different from just bringing somebody, a principal from another school, to come and talk to them. And what did they say? You face your book. They need somebody who is exposed to come and talk to them. It does not happen. A lot of times, how it happens in a lot of schools is from class to your hostel, your dormitories, or to your place, or to the place where you're living, and then maybe church or mosque and back to school. It's a triangle life for 3 years. There's only a few people who are already exposed before they got to school, probably a little mature, that have this mindset. They know what they want to do and they like. Somebody who already has siblings as nurses or in the medical field, I'll say no, you cannot stop at RN. What is BNSC? When you're doing your BNSC, why not just do your public health exam and do your RM exam and do this one? But a lot of others, they don't have anybody to tell them all of these things. They don't have. They are not exposed. There's no mentorship. So they will just do the next thing that they seem good. That's what they do. They do the next thing that seems good to them. Not because anybody is forcing them. Okay, so let's say for example now, you got home, you already registered. You can tell your mom that, Mom, I want to quickly go for my degree, or let me do now, But if you don't know, you can also tell mommy that one guy is studying, let's get married. She will accept. You see, both her options, because now it's not as if she's one of be totally paying for it. You'll be working and you are still schooling. Yeah. So that's what happens with now. And the marriage, she's also going to pay for it. So somebody will just come and take you away. So if somebody tells the parent that I want to have my degree done, I'm going to be doing what's it called now? A distance learning program and I'm going to be working. The parents will be happy. Yes. I know few people, maybe in some cultures, they'll say, no, go and get married, you finish the one in your husband out. But I can tell you that 80% of times, it is the decision of that particular female nurse to actually get into the marriage because of her level of exposure. I have had somebody who, at a time, made a decision as regards what you're talking about because she felt like that's the best thing to do after school, and that when she has given birth, she can now continue her education. Though she's doing the education now, but it's very hard because there's baby, there's husband, there's work, so it's a lot. As once I were joking, you're like, if I have to retake this decision, I'm not going to do it like this because of our current level of exposure.
Yeah.
So that's the idea.
All right. You've said a lot of things, and it also brought back, one question I always, or one of the things I've seen among female nurses. Our female nurses are always hot, very beautiful girls.
Yes.
But it look as though men now they rush them because see, I think sometimes marrying a nurse is a flex for some people, right?
Yes.
Because people prey on the fact that men especially prey on the fact that if I marry a nurse, she's going to travel, she's going to get to work fast and start helping me. Then in the long run, she might travel overseas, So people tend to prey on these things. So just like you said, this is where mentorship comes in, and you can tell them that you can still wait. Get higher educations, get more qualifications, get specialties. I saw there's a lady I saw on TikTok, and very young, and she's already having a PhD. I was like, wow, this is a new flex, it's a new era of nurses, young nurses coming up, and they want to really. I think this all boils down to actually having the right mentors, whether it's in your school or whether at home also, because at home there's already a lot of work to do. Like I said, some people, the family will say, you don't finish school now, I go marry. and
Uh-huh.
probably they don't have a say. But there's already a guy there telling them that, oh, if I marry her, I will take her to overseas. If I
Mm-hmm.
marry her, I will make sure she complete the remaining one for my house. That kind of a thing. It happens,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I think that's where the mentorship actually comes in. All
Comes
right.
in.
Thank you very much for elaborating on that. I really appreciate that
You're welcome.
elaboration and explanation. All right. Let's look at something very important for nurses, whether you are in the classroom, whatever you're finding yourself, is confidence. Because if you are taking care of patients, you have to be confident, telling them the things you know. Also, if you're interacting with your colleagues in the MDTs, other professionals, you have to be confident to actually tell them your part of the stories, like your own experience, your knowledge, and all that. So, as a tutor, what does it take to become a competent and a confident nurse?
All right. Okay. So I'll say this. It starts from school, actually. It starts from
Okay.
school. During those presentations, those answering questions time, that's where the confidence starts. So you see, there's something that I picked up from this we listen, we don't judge thing. Is that it builds confidence. I'm not talking about the we listen, we don't judge in quotes. I'm talking about the fact that say what you want to say. Answer that question, even if it is wrong. It will build confidence. That's the thing.
Mm.
Because with time, a tutor will not judge you or will not should not slam you down or judge you because the question is wrong. In fact, the fact that you can confidently say something means that you want to know. It's not just that you just want to stand up, and so it helps. See that having to answer questions during presentation, participate. That's where it started. That's where my own started from. That's where it started from. It started with small presentation groups, having to lecture my lecturers because as an educator, as a tutor, you have to lecture your lecturers. Having to lecture my lecturers and then having to lecture real students and having to do all of those things. Now, that's one. Two, you can also prepare in front of your mirror. Your mirror will help you. Yeah. So get in front of your mirror and talk about it. And I always say this, also know your onions. So know your onions, practice in front of the mirror. And before you know it, that confidence will grow. It grows per time. It's not something that happens in a twinkle of
Overnight.
an eye. It grows. So if you start practicing and you know how to look into the people's eyes, talk with confidence, it starts gradually, your voice starts shaking, but with time, you'll be in charge. So that's one way to grow confidence. Yes.
Thank you very much, Doctor. You're actually a lecturer. You are teaching me. You're actually teaching me now. You are making me so much confident. Right. So if you're a student nurse, you're a nurse, you are a healthcare professional, and you're watching this program, I will believe with you to please subscribe, follow us on all social media where you can be getting updates whenever we post. We are going to be posting everything. The full episode once a week. Then we'll put on social media so you can see them and enjoy them. Make sure you subscribe and also share with your friends and loved ones. All right, talking about confidence. I think you are spot on, when it comes to confidence. But there are some people that no matter what you do, they feel that they are not good enough, they just have this impression that they cannot do it. What would you say to such a person? Maybe you have somebody like that in your class.
All right. Okay. So when I have people like that in my class, I always tell them to take a deep breath.
Yeah.
I tell them to take a deep breath. That's the first thing. I always tell them you can do it. And I have a particular word that I use. Some of my students, I'll tell them relax. Oh, relax. You can do it. So if me, as your tutor, I'm telling you relax, then you should know that you should relax. So I'll
Relax,
tell you
yeah.
relax, and then you see one of those things that affects people's confidence is the fact that sometimes some of them have either disability, some of them have low self-esteem and the likes like that, and the
Mm.
colleagues will start taking advantage of it. So sometimes I usually tell their colleagues to let these people have their way. And there was a time. Let me tell you something I did at a time in one of my students' presentation. So this particular student was very shy, less confident, and the colleagues would be throwing a lot of trance, giving some
Yeah.
eyes, doing some things, and I just told her this. Picture this thing that you are in charge of this class. If I was the one in front and you were doing this, what would I have done? She said, I'll have sent some of them out, remove mark. I said, start doing it. Start doing it. Picture it that you are the one teaching. So she just told one, shut up your mouth. You need to listen. And before you know it, she took over the class. And now she's actually doing very well. In fact, now she does TikTok videos on how student nurses. Yes, because of
Wow.
that one single hack. Yes. So I've seen that work. So I will tell the person, you have to relax. Another thing is that you can do it. I know. It's everybody can do it. Everybody can do it. And that when I say you can do it, that means that I'm telling you to believe in yourself.
Yeah.
Yes, because once you believe in yourself, no matter what comes, no matter winds, no matter fire that comes your way, if you believe in yourself, you are just going to pass through it. So
Yeah.
that's something that I know that happened. Yes. So just believe in yourself. I also tell my story. There's a time I played the saxophone too as a hobby, and I got to a church in Kogi State, Winners Chapel Church. Winners Chapel don't really have branches. They only have branches in places where that is far to altar. Yeah, and then when I got there, that church had over 3,000 people.
Wow.
I'm telling you, it's very big. I mean, very big. And then so I auditioned and I was able to join the music team. And of course, having to play in front of 3,000 people can be a lot of things. But
Yeah.
because I already have this thing in me, you see, even at that time, even me with all my confidence, my leg was shaking. I just told myself, I can do it. And I used all of the techniques that I use, and it worked. I was able to play, and we're like, oh, you did well. I didn't shake, I did all of those things. So I know that it works. So it is important to believe in yourself. Believe in yourself. Believe that you can do it. And that's the beginning of every great thing that can ever happen in your life. Believing in yourself.
Believing in yourself, that is the beginning of
Yes.
every great things that will ever happen in your life. Thank you very much, Doctor. You're just killing it for me this morning or this afternoon, because self-confidence, it takes you very far when you have to. Even if you are there back then, I think my lecturer would say, even if you are making mistake,
Yes.
don't let the person beside you know that you're making mistake. Make
Yes.
that mistake confidently. They will think that
Confidently.
they'll think that you know
Yes.
what you're doing. All right.
Yes.
All right. So let's proceed. Yeah, because you just said it all. Now, you're also you talk about playing saxophone. You've killed that one for me. Now, you're also into wellness coaching.
Yes.
What inspired you to that side of healthcare?
All right. So you see, when we talk about wellness, we're talking about somebody speaking to an average person who does not understand wellness or does not
Hmm.
understand health, right? Yes. And I told you that from the beginning, I said one of the things that took me to nursing is affecting lives.
Yeah.
AFETR, yes, affecting lives. And then you see, one of the people that you can affect their lives are people who are not in the system. You see, a lot of things are going or have gone wrong when it comes to the healthcare system and an average Nigerian. And I said it, I said there's a bridge, there's a bridging gap of knowledge. People don't really have an understanding of a lot of things. And you
Yeah.
see, for everybody that have met me as a person, you see, for some people who are going to see this video and they have met me, they will tell you that one of those things that I do is the right education.
Yeah.
The right education. I actually do that a lot. So you see, one of those things that drove me to wellness, just like I said, is that particular bridging gap. That's some basic thing that an average Nigerian is supposed to know about their health, and they don't know. And it helps them. This thing allows some of them to spend a lot of money. It has scattered marriages. It has
Hmm.
scattered relationships. It has
True.
ruined people's life because of small information. I've met people that haven't given them small information. I mean, very small problems of that they think that does not have a solution actually has solutions. And Nigerians are full of might, MITHS. They are full of it. So
Hmm.
one of those things that drove me into having to, educate people is the fact that people need to have a change in mindset. That's one way I can affect them positively. And from that, I've seen things change. And Education is there's this saying, an educated person will not be, there's this thing we say in secondary or primary school, I forgot it, but education is light. There's a way it actually changes how you think. I have
Yeah,
seen a
true.
marriage, I've seen a marriage that almost in fact that's almost scattered. And why? It's a problem of genotype, a problem of resource factor. The wife keep giving birth. The children keep dying. They just told them in the hospital that it's a resource problem and one thing. And they don't both understand. So they started fighting each other until they met me. So I had to sit both of them down and explain how resource factor, because the husband already said the wife is the problem. So I had to explain to the man that now you be the host. Now you strong past this person. I left antigens, antibodies to medical, and I just spoke simple English. If you are a visitor and you are stronger than the person hosting you, you can bind them down and take over their house. That's what positive does to somebody who is negative and the likes
Yeah.
like that. And they were able to understand that she's not, because they said she was mommy water. That's why our children are going back. A lot of things. And having explained all of these things, they understood. They understood. So, and that's one thing that wellness will bring. Some people believe that if you are old, some people believe that when somebody is old, they must forget things. They believe that when somebody is old, it is normal that they can't squat. All of these things are things that I address. If you can't squat, if you are bending when you are old, it's because you have been bending since when you are young. And I tell them about receipts, and there are some things that when you do over time, explain in normal terms, and it's been beautiful. And that's something. And just like I said, affecting lives is very wonderful. I'm always fulfilled when I have touched lives. So that's one thing that took me to wellness.
Wow. Wow. This is a lot. This is just wonderful. Thank you very much for the work, for the job you do. It's a lot, actually. It's actually a lot. And at this point, I'm going to mention that if you want to contact Mr. Dortun for some wellness tip, I'm going to be putting his handles, his phone number, if he doesn't mind, so I can contact him. But no, say nothing is free. He can give you nothing is free. So you have to be charging for the education. But the cocoa is that you can reach him, that he can give you some of these tips so that you can actually get some of the benefit, draw from his wealth of knowledge, whether on social media or personally, is actually available. Abi?
Yes, I am available. Yes.
Yeah, right. So let's continue. Now, for someone who feels okay, if someone wants to improve their health, but they feel overwhelmed,
Yes.
what is one simple habit that they can start today? Listeners,
Right.
please watch and listen.
All right.
One
Okay.
simple habit.
So, if somebody wants to improve their health, so you see this one habit, it's a two-in-one thing. You're going to do two things, but it's one. So I always say, eat and sleep. Pass that one.
Yeah.
Eat and sleep is one thing. So this is the idea. You see, every good health encompasses having good sleep and eating right. So if you don't know where to start from, make sure that you have that average amount of sleep that an average person should have daily. Start with that one. There's a way sleep help cortisol's level. There's a way sleep help you to relax so that when you are awake, then it helps a lot. It helps the immune system. Sleep does more good than harm. So sleep well and eat healthy. When I mean eat healthy, understand how to combine your food. Eat healthy. And with that, by the time you are sleeping well for 3 days, you are eating well for 3 days, you find that you are getting started. It does help. So that's what I'll tell them. Eat and sleep. Yes.
All right. So I will not stretch this very well. Like I said, you can contact him. I'm going to be dropping his contact so he can give you more details. Because of our time, we're not going to stretch it very well longer than what it is right now. So let's look at you particularly now. From the look of things, from what we're understanding now, you wear so many hats. You're not just a tutor. You play music. You're a wellness coach. How do you manage your time and maintain this balance to avoid burnout?
All right. Okay. So, one of those things that helps to avoid burnout is um, let me put it in two ways. If you enjoy what you do, sometimes you don't burn out on time when you enjoy what you do, and that's something that really helps even when we take it back to having to choose um, area of specialty and the likes like that. If you enjoy what you do, let's now say you now also enjoy what you do, but it's taking so much energy. This is what I do. I always create that small amount of time to do the things that I love, except from work. So let me also put it this way: I have a life outside work. That's the thing. Everything is not work. So I always have a time where I know that no matter what happens, except for emergencies, I'm not going to do anything. I always have that self time. I try as much as possible to have that self time. And then during that self time, what do? I do the things that I like. Don't forget that I enjoy my work. Yes. But even if that work sometimes is burning me out, I do the things that I like. I create that time. That time can be 45 minutes, it can be 2 hours doing the things that I like to do. So by the time I do that, it takes away work stress. It takes it out totally because I'm doing the things that I now enjoy doing. So that's one way that I usually help or that helps me during burnouts. I do the things that I like.
All right, do anything that I like. Now, I want you. Now, this is about you. Now, I want you to look at young professionals.
Yeah.
I want to direct this message to young professionals. So that just tell them how they can actually protect their mental well-being. And their emotional well-being, because healthcare is a lot of stress. You're dealing with patients, you're dealing with
Yes.
relatives, you're dealing with yourself, you're dealing with those that are still going to school. There are a lot of pressure in healthcare, even dealing with legal issues. So these young professionals, tell them these things as a tutor, how they can protect their mental well-being and their emotional well-being while they carry out their job or their duties to avoid burnout.
All right. So the number one thing that I would say is have a schedule, have a plan, have a plan in anything you are doing. Have a plan. Don't forget that in the healthcare system, there's always a shift in, there's shift out, there's clock in, clock out. So have a
Yeah.
plan. You must always have a plan. And in your daily plan, there should be time for rest. No matter how small it is, not time for sleep. Time for sleep is different from that. Sometimes some people, even in their sleep, they are stressed, right?
Yeah.
Yes, yes, because they don't have a plan. So when I say have a plan, when you wake up in the morning, so let's say you are resuming your shift 7 a.m. and you're closing 5. 7 a.m. to 5, I'm working. 5 to 7, I'm doing this. 7 to 9, I'm doing this to this, and following it through. It will help you. It will, because you see, when you do that, you are programming your mind to something. And in that your plan, there must be time for rest. There must be time for rest. It must be there that this particular time is for rest, this particular time is for sleep. Even if the rest is just 30 minutes, it must be there. Have a plan. That's the thing. And I've said, so I talked about having plan, and I said in your plan, there must be rest. When you are tired, don't quit. Rest. Sometimes you need that maximum rest, because if you quit, by the time you take up something else, you're still going to get tired again. You can't keep quitting. So when you are tired, you rest. Don't quit. Then the last thing is know when to call it a day. Know when to call it a day. Yes, you are human. No, you will know that time that no, I don't think I can go any further, and then you call it a day. Don't forget that the work will still remain. So if you let anything affect your mental health, you are going to be admitted, and somebody will have to also take care of you. So know when to call it a day. Yes, and of course, I also always say this: those the off periods, those breaks when you have it,
Take them.
take your mind off work mode. Have a life outside work. So those times when, let's say, it is off days or you're on vacation, just leave work. Work will survive. Don't forget that you're not doing one day. Yes, and then face your life and enjoy it. Come back refreshed, and then get back into work. Yes. So that's how you can help burnout. Yes, and then there's this last thing. There's this last thing. Now, I said something about having a life outside work. Now that means that at work, understand that at work, it is work mode. So that means that anything that happens at work does not affect your normal life because it is a work life. So it is normal that somebody will shout at work. It's normal that somebody say you don't know how to do anything. That's work mode. So all those things will happen at work. By the time you are leaving work, don't forget that you don't also bring your emotions to work. So when you are leaving work, don't carry emotions of work back to your normal life. It will affect you and you will burn out because even when you get home, you are still thinking about those things and it should not be. So I always call it just like on our phones, we have work mode, we have do not disturb. You will have that kind of mode. And what can help you to have it is having a plan. So when you're at work, whether you're at work, yes, your superiors can shout, this one is doing this, you are doing that. Once you are done with work, you have closed everything. You have gone back to your normal life and you are enjoying it. So when you do that, it definitely helps. I do it a lot. That even though no matter how the thing gets to me, once I get up like this, and I just pick up, for example, I like mobile games. I just pick up my phone and start playing game. That one is finished. That's the work for that day. That's that. We get to work the next day. Okay, so where did we stop yesterday? And that's the thing. So all of those things usually help. They help. Yes.
Thank you very much. It's a lot to unpack it. I just wish a lot of student nurses, a lot of nurses can watch and actually get this maximum, free knowledge being shared right now because it is a lot to unpack it. Because one of the things that you have said a lot of things, but one thing that struck right now is the fact that work mode should be work mode. My HOD then used to say, once you pass the gate of the hospital, leave your house problem.
Yes.
It's the work. Once you close, you pass the gate of the hospital, leave the hospital problem. Go and face the one at home.
At home.
So because a lot of us we don't really know how to separate these things. Mm-hmm. We take the issues at home, bring it to hospital, take the issue in the hospital, take it home, and we get stressing and it affects the mental health. I just wish a lot of people see this program and actually key into this advice you are giving for free. All right, because of our time, we are going to be rounding up right now. So for student nurses and young nurses that are listening to us, like I said, I just hope most of them will be watching. What mindset should they develop earlier in their career?
All right, so whatever they set their minds to do, they can achieve it. That's the first thing. Whatsoever they have set their minds to do, they can achieve it. And it is possible. The dream might look big, but sometimes those side of you might want to shamble the dreams, things, policies, changing of offices, might want to, look like this thing, but it's a lie. Whatever you have set your mind to do, if you have set your mind to the fact that, look at that one that you said she's doing a PhD. I saw one that finished her PhD already at 27 or so. Look at that. She already set her mind to it, and despite whatever the country, despite whatever is happening in her life, she's able to achieve it. Yeah. So if the foundation is bad, there's nothing a righteous person can do. The foundation is very important, and that foundation is that I am going to achieve this, and that's one thing that they will keep following. And by the time they are looking back, they'll find that either they have done it, they are on the pathway, or they are trying to get around it. So that's one thing that I would say. Whatsoever you set your mind to do, you will achieve it. Yes. So that's one thing that they should do in their career, and it will help them. So by the time they see that thing every day, sometimes you might have to place it somewhere. Sometimes it can even be your phone screensaver. So by the time they see it every day, they know what they are chasing. So whatever the storms, whatever, they know that they are going somewhere. It definitely helps a lot. Because on this journey, you also know you will meet a lot of things that will make you think that, what am I looking for in this particular field? And they want to drive you, just like you said, you saw your lecturer's car. Some of us, we don't even see our lecturer's car. They don't have cars. Some they don't have cars. When you are going out of school, see them trekking, mountain bike, all of those things. But if you allow those things to get into your head, you will miss it out. You'll miss it. Set your mind on it.
Yes, thank you very much, Doctor. You've really unpacked a lot in this episode, and we are grateful that you came. Now, before we leave, we ask one signature question or closing question, as I call it most of the time. So your question right now is: you're a lecturer, you are a tutor, you're a wellness coach, you're a musician also, though it's a hobby, so you have lots to give out to not just this generation, the future generation also, and even those around you, all right, who are not even who don't even know that they're going to get into the profession, but somehow at some point they're going to find themselves there because some people have not even made decisions. All right, so if you're going to speak directly to the next generations of health workers in one sentence, right? So assuming you just want to pass, this is a parting message for them. What would you say to them in just one sentence?
All right. The world needs you right now. They need your energy. They need that's the passion that comes from you in anything you have set your mind to do. And the world is waiting for you, to unravel all of those things, and that they can definitely do it. And then I will also let them know that the sky is the starting point, and it's enough for everybody to fly. Yes.
All right. I say one sentence. It's not past one sentence. It's not past one sentence. All right. Thank you. All right. Thank you so much for sharing your insight, Mr. Dortun. Thank you for sharing your experience with us. And this episode actually reminds us that healthcare is actually not a single part, but a journey that is actually filled with growth, purpose, and opportunities. There are a lot of opportunities for you out there. And if you are listening, anyone listening to this podcast today, or anytime you are listening to it, if this conversation inspired you, if you enjoyed this episode, please help us to share with your friends and loved ones. Like I said before, subscribe to our channels, follow us on social medias, as we'll be bringing you weekly episodes with different health professionals as they share their stories, powerful stories that can transform your life, powerful stories from the people in the front line, powerful stories from the people helping to shape the next generation of health workers. But until then, I'll enjoy you to keep watching and listening the Diary of Health Workers. I still remain Kessy Paul, aka Uncle Nurse. Stay blessed.